After 25 years as a cardiologist, you'd think I'd have beet juice figured out. I didn't. What changed my understanding wasn't a research paper or a medical conference. It was a conversation with a 71-year-old patient named Helen. She came in complaining of stomach trouble, low energy, and frustration. She was doing everything right, she said. Juicing every morning. Beets, spinach, lemon, a little honey to help it go down. Classic health routine. Textbook healthy. Except it wasn't working. In fact, she felt worse after her juice than before. I asked her to walk me through exactly what she was mixing, and as she described her recipe, I started to understand. The problem wasn't the beet juice. The problem was what she was adding to it. I'm Dr. Maria Golden. For 25 years, I've treated over 15,000 heart patients. And what I've learned about beet juice may surprise you. Beets are genuinely beneficial. The nitrates in beetroot support healthy circulation, help blood vessels relax, and can contribute to better blood pressure over time. The research is solid. I recommend beet juice often. But, and this is important, beet juice is concentrated. What you mix it with matters more than most people realize, especially after 60, when digestion, kidney function, and blood sugar regulation naturally change. Today, I want to walk you through 7 beet juice combinations that may be doing more harm than good. Not to frighten you, to help you get the most from something that genuinely has the potential to support your health. And I'll show you how to prepare beet juice the right way, so it works with your body instead of against it. Let's start with something most people would never suspect. The first combination worth reconsidering is beet juice with lemon. I understand why people add it. Lemon brightens the flavor. It feels fresh and cleansing. And for years, we've been told that lemon supports detox and digestion. In moderation and in the right context, that can be true. But here's what I've observed. When you add a significant amount of lemon, say half a lemon or more, to beet juice, the chemistry of the drink changes. Lemon is quite acidic. Beet juice contains compounds that work best in a more neutral environment. Think of it like this. Imagine you're trying to move nutrients across a gentle river. The current is steady, the flow is smooth. Now imagine someone suddenly speeds up that current. The nutrients don't cross as easily. Some get swept away. That's roughly what happens when high acidity meets the natural compounds in beet juice. The nitrates that support circulation, the betalains that give beets their color and antioxidant activity, the plant-based iron. All of these absorb better when the digestive environment stays relatively calm. For younger people, a bit of lemon may not make a noticeable difference, but after 60, when stomach acid balance becomes more delicate and the protective lining of the stomach may be thinner, this acid load can cause discomfort. Some people notice heartburn, bloating, or a sour feeling within minutes. The practical takeaway isn't that lemon is bad, it's that quantity and timing matter. A few drops for flavor is different from squeezing half a lemon into your glass every morning. If you want a lighter, fresher taste, consider cucumber instead. It adds freshness without acidity. Or a small piece of green apple, which provides gentle sweetness along with fiber that actually helps digestion. With that in mind, let's talk about the second combination, one that seems completely harmless, but can quietly interfere with the very benefits people drink beet juice for. The second combination to reconsider is beet juice with honey or other added sweeteners. This is perhaps the most common adjustment people make. Beet juice has an earthy flavor that takes some getting used to, so people reach for honey, maple syrup, or other sweeteners to make it more palatable. And I get it. Honey is natural. It has its own health properties. What could be wrong? The challenge isn't where the sugar comes from. It's what sugar does to beet juice inside your body. Beets are rich in natural nitrates. Your body converts these nitrates into something called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is what helps blood vessels relax, improves circulation, and supports healthy blood pressure. This conversion process is the primary reason beet juice gets recommended for cardiovascular health. When you add sugar to the mix, you create a competing priority. Your body responds to sugar with an insulin release. This metabolic shift can interfere with the nitrate to nitric oxide pathway. Picture an orchestra where every musician is playing their part beautifully. Now imagine someone turns on a loud television in the room. The music doesn't stop, but it's harder to hear. Something gets lost. That's the effect sugar can have on nitric oxide production. The conversion still happens, but less efficiently. The benefit you were hoping for gets diminished. For seniors, especially those managing blood sugar concerns, pre-diabetes, or metabolic changes, added sweeteners create an additional challenge. They can cause blood sugar spikes, increase inflammatory stress, and ask more of the liver and kidneys over time. Here's the encouraging news. Taste buds adapt. I've had patients tell me they couldn't stand plain beet juice at first. 2 weeks later, they didn't miss the sweetness at all. Some even started to enjoy the earthy flavor. If you need to ease into it, cucumber adds freshness without affecting blood sugar. A small piece of green apple provides mild natural sweetness along with fiber, which slows sugar absorption. These are gentler options that let beet juice do its job. Now, the next combination might surprise you. It's often recommended as a healthy pairing, but for older adults, it can create digestive conflict and reduce the very benefits people expect. The third combination to approach thoughtfully is beet juice with orange juice. Two brightly colored, vitamin-rich foods blended into one vibrant drink. It sounds like pure health on paper. But inside the body, particularly the aging digestive system, this pairing often creates more complications than benefits. The first consideration is acidity. Oranges are quite acidic. When that acidity meets the natural sugars and active compounds in beetroot, the digestive system has to work harder to process everything. For people with sensitive digestion, reflux, or IBS, this can mean bloating, discomfort, or that unsettled feeling that shows up shortly after drinking. The second consideration involves vitamin C. Oranges contain high levels of vitamin C, which is generally a good thing. But when it comes to beet juice specifically, very high vitamin C intake in the same drink can interfere with the nitrate conversion process we talked about earlier. Remember, the whole point of drinking beet juice for cardiovascular health is that nitrate to nitric oxide pathway. When the mixture is dominated by acidic vitamin C, that conversion becomes less efficient. There's also a blood sugar consideration. Both beets and oranges contain natural sugars. When juiced, the fiber that would normally slow sugar absorption is removed. For older adults, especially those managing blood sugar, this combination can cause noticeable glucose spikes followed by energy dips. The practical guidance is simple. If you enjoy citrus, have it separately. Drink your beet juice in the morning and enjoy orange or other citrus with a meal later in the day. This way, your body can benefit from each without the interference. Speaking of interference, the next combination doesn't just affect digestion. It can actually reduce beetroot's most valuable compounds before they ever reach your bloodstream. The fourth combination to avoid is beet juice with vinegar. This one surprised me when I first started paying attention to it. Apple cider vinegar has been popular for years. People add it to morning drinks, believing it supports detox, metabolism, and cleansing. There may be contexts where vinegar has its place, but beet juice isn't one of them. Here's why. Vinegar is extremely acidic. That acidity can affect beetroot's nitrates before your body ever has a chance to convert them into nitric oxide. Think of it this way. You're trying to deliver a package to someone, but before you can get there, the package gets damaged in transit. It still arrives, but it's not in the condition you intended. That's roughly what happens when vinegar meets beet juice. The compounds that make beet juice beneficial may be compromised before they can do their work. Beyond nutrient concerns, the combination of beet juice and vinegar can be hard on the stomach. Both stimulate digestive processes, but in different ways. Together, they can cause discomfort, a burning sensation, or that heavy, unsettled feeling that lingers. There's also a blood pressure consideration worth knowing about. Both beetroot and vinegar influence blood pressure, but through different mechanisms. For some people, particularly those already taking blood pressure medication, combining them can lead to unexpected drops in blood pressure, causing lightheadedness or fatigue. If you want to thin or refresh your beet juice, water is perfectly fine. Cucumber works well too. These preserve the nutrients and support digestion rather than working against it. Now, the next combination is one I see often in smoothie recipes. On paper, it looks like a complete nutritional package. In practice, it creates significant digestive conflict. The fifth combination to reconsider is beet juice with milk or dairy products. This includes regular milk, flavored milk, creamers, and those smoothie recipes that blend beet juice with yogurt or protein-rich dairy. The thinking is understandable. Vegetables for nutrients, dairy for protein and calcium. A balanced approach. But digestion doesn't always work that way. Beetroot is naturally acidic. When beet juice comes into contact with milk proteins, particularly casein, those proteins can behave differently than they would on their own. The interaction can create heaviness in the stomach, fermentation, and discomfort that lasts for hours. I've had patients describe it as feeling like a rock sitting in their stomach. Others notice bloating, gas, or reflux that they couldn't explain until we traced it back to this combination. After 60, when stomach acid levels and digestive enzyme production naturally decline, the body has a harder time managing this kind of clash. Even people who tolerated dairy well earlier in life often notice new sensitivities. There's also an absorption consideration. Milk requires a specific digestive environment to properly release its calcium and protein. Beet juice stimulates different digestive processes. When these happen simultaneously, the body struggles to absorb either food optimally. If you prefer a creamier texture in your beet drink, coconut water is a good alternative. It provides hydration and electrolytes without digestive conflict. Cucumber adds smoothness and freshness while supporting kidney and liver function. Dairy has its place in a healthy diet, but perhaps not inside your beet juice. The next combination is particularly important for kidney health. It's one of the most common pairings, and it looks incredibly nutritious. But for certain people, it creates a hidden mineral concern. The sixth combination to approach carefully is beet juice with spinach. On their own, both beetroot and spinach are nutritional standouts. That's exactly why so many people blend them together, believing they're creating a supercharged green-red health drink. But when juiced together in concentrated raw form, this combination can create a biochemical consideration that deserves your attention, especially if you have any kidney concerns. The issue involves compounds called oxalates. Both beets and spinach contain relatively high levels of oxalates. When eaten whole and separately, and in reasonable amounts, the body can usually manage these just fine. But when you combine them in a single juice, the oxalate concentration increases significantly. And here's where it matters. Oxalates bind to minerals like calcium, magnesium, and iron. In the kidneys, this can contribute to the formation of calcium oxalate crystals, the most common type of kidney stone. For many healthy people, this may never become an issue. But for seniors, people with reduced kidney function, a history of kidney stones, or conditions that affect mineral balance, this concentrated oxalate load deserves consideration. The concern isn't dramatic or immediate. Crystals can accumulate gradually over weeks or months. That's why this combination is worth understanding before problems arise. There's also a mineral absorption consideration. High oxalate intake can reduce how much calcium and iron your body absorbs from food. Over time, this might contribute to bone or energy concerns. This doesn't mean spinach is unhealthy. Not at all, and neither are beets. It simply means they may work better when not juiced together, particularly in large quantities or on a daily basis. If you want to add leafy greens to beet juice, consider low oxalate options like kale, romaine, celery leaves, or parsley. And if you enjoy spinach, having it cooked and at a separate time of day allows your body to handle it more easily. Now, the final combination on our list. It's one of the most popular juice pairings in homes and juice bars alike. And while both ingredients are genuinely healthy, combining them creates a concentrated load that may stress both kidneys and blood sugar. The seventh and final combination to reconsider is beet juice with carrots. Two vibrant root vegetables, both praised for their nutrients, blended into a colorful drink that looks like pure health. I understand the appeal completely, but inside the body, particularly after 60, this pairing creates a double consideration worth knowing about. The first is oxalates. Like spinach, carrots also contain oxalates. When juiced with beets, the concentration increases. Without fiber to slow absorption, this creates a higher oxalate load reaching the kidneys, increasing the risk of crystal formation over time. The second is blood sugar. Both beets and carrots contain natural sugars. When juiced together with fiber removed, those sugars enter the bloodstream more quickly. For people managing insulin resistance, prediabetes, diabetes, or liver health concerns. This can trigger blood sugar spikes followed by fatigue and cravings. The pattern repeats. Without fiber, the concentrated juice can ferment more quickly in the gut, producing gas, bloating, and digestive discomfort. Seniors with slower digestion are often more sensitive to this effect. The guidance here is straightforward. Beets and carrots are both healthy when eaten whole, cooked, or consumed separately. The concern arises when they're compressed into one raw, concentrated juice that delivers a lot at once. If you're drinking beet juice today, consider skipping the carrot. And if you want carrot juice, enjoy it alone, or blend it with low oxalate, low sugar options like cucumber or celery. By keeping these roots separate, you support your kidneys, maintain more stable blood sugar, and allow each vegetable to contribute to your health in the way it works best. Let me bring this together for you. Beet juice can be a genuinely helpful addition to your routine. The nitrates support circulation. The nutrients benefit the heart. The research is encouraging. But like anything concentrated and effective, beet juice works best when prepared thoughtfully. Here are the 7 combinations worth reconsidering and why each one matters. Lemon. High acidity can irritate digestion and may reduce how well your body absorbs beet juice's beneficial compounds. A few drops is different from half a lemon every morning. Honey and added sugars. These can interfere with nitric oxide production, the very reason most people drink beet juice for heart health. They also affect blood sugar, particularly after 60. Orange. The combination of acidity and high vitamin C can trigger digestive discomfort and reduce nitrate conversion. Combined sugars without fiber may cause blood sugar swings. Vinegar. Highly acidic vinegar can compromise beetroot's nitrates before your body uses them. It can also cause stomach irritation and unexpected blood pressure changes. Milk and dairy. The interaction between beet juice and dairy proteins can create digestive heaviness, bloating, and reduced nutrient absorption. Spinach. Both are high in oxalates. When juiced together, the concentration increases risk for kidney stones and may reduce mineral absorption. Carrots. Combining them with beets concentrates both sugars and oxalates, affecting blood sugar and kidney considerations. The common thread is this: juicing removes fiber and concentrates compounds into a form the body handles differently than whole foods. Beet juice is most effective when kept simple and pure. Now that you know what to approach thoughtfully, let me show you what actually works. Respect the dose. Beetroot is concentrated. 1 medium beet per day is enough. That's roughly 100 to 120 milliliters of fresh juice. This provides sufficient nitrates to support circulation without overwhelming your system. Keep it simple. Beet juice works best without additions. If the taste feels too strong at first, blend it with cucumber, celery, or a small piece of green apple. These support digestion without interfering with nutrients. Timing matters. The best time for beet juice is on a light or empty stomach. First thing in the morning or about 30 minutes before lunch works well. This is when nitrate conversion is most efficient. Fresh is important. Beet juice begins to oxidize quickly. For best results, drink it within 10 to 15 minutes of juicing. Pre-made bottled juice may have lost some of its effectiveness. Sip slowly. This isn't meant to be taken like a shot. Drinking slowly allows your digestive system and blood vessels to respond gradually. Many people notice steadier energy when they take their time. Consider rotation. Your body benefits from variety. You might drink beet juice 3 or 4 times per week rather than daily, especially if you're sensitive. Rotating with cucumber or celery juice gives your system variety. When you follow these principles, moderate amount, clean ingredients, proper timing, fresh preparation, beet juice becomes what it can be at its best. A gentle, effective support for your circulation, energy, and overall vitality. Beet juice is one of those things that works quietly when you give it the right conditions. Not dramatically, not overnight, but steadily, over time, in ways that add up. What I've learned from 25 years of working with heart patients is that the small choices often matter most. Not the expensive supplements or complicated protocols. The simple, daily practices that you can sustain. Helen, the patient I mentioned at the beginning, eventually found her way to simpler beet juice. No lemon, no honey, no spinach piled in. Just beets, some cucumber, and consistency. A few weeks later, she told me the stomach trouble had cleared up. Her energy felt different, steadier. She laughed and said she couldn't believe something so simple had been the answer all along. I hear that often, and every time I think about how much we complicate health, when sometimes the path forward is removing what isn't working rather than adding more. If this information helped you see your beet juice routine differently, I'm glad. Small adjustments can make a real difference, sometimes within days. If you found this helpful, I'd be grateful if you'd consider subscribing to the channel. I share guidance like this regularly, always focused on helping adults over 60 make informed choices about their health. And if you know someone who drinks beet juice regularly, perhaps sharing this video with them could help. Sometimes the people closest to us benefit from information we happen to come across. I'm Dr. Maria Golden. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Take good care of yourself. And remember, healthy choices don't have to be complicated. They just have to be informed.